Hey folks, this is Function here, and I'm back in the whole YouTube world, making some videos of me drafting, playing some HexTCG, and doing all that other fun stuff. So yeah, I'm going to do a draft walkthrough this time around. I've been doing all right so far, but that lucky streak could run out at any given moment. Before I move on to the draft, though, I did want to say, there's still another couple days left to hit the Slacker backer. They're going to end it on, I think, April 1st, something like that. So if you're kind of thinking about playing Hex, now's the chance to get the Slacker backer. It gets you like the access into Alpha, which is about to end. Well, it's probably going to end sometime soon, and Beta, which is going to start up sometime soon. And it gets you a couple other rewards, some packs, and all that other good stuff. So if you're thinking about Slacker backing, now is one of your last opportunities to do so, and I suggest you do. Anyhow, with that aside, just might as well get right into the video. So hope you guys like it. If you do, definitely click the subscribe button right over there somewhere, and feel free to comment. Let me know what you thought of the draft, and hit the like button if you liked it. Till next time, guys, less fail, more function. Hey guys, so we are just about to start a draft here. It's just firing up, and hopefully I'm going to do some recording. We'll see how this goes. So far I've been doing pretty well in draft. Won most of the ones I've been doing, and I'm sure now that I'm recording, my luck will run out. Alright, so here's our pack, and we got already there's a couple cards that I'm interested in. The Kindling Skarn right here is definitely pretty good if you're going really heavy aggressive Ruby. I've played with him maybe 2 or 3 times, and I think I've won every time I picked him, but I'm not convinced that that's the card that I want here. Also, Rotcaster, very good, pairs really well with Sapphire stuff, if that's the route we go. Krakengard Mariner, probably not the first pick here. Also, the other ones that we're looking at is Giant Corpse Fly, Time Ripple. Those are probably the other strong cards, so it's really down to Kindling Skarn, Rotcaster, Corpse Fly, Time Ripple. If we take Rotcaster, we're going to probably get one of these other blood cards, and all of them are kind of playable. There's a bunch of other good cards in the pack. Quick Strider's not bad, but I kind of want to go with Rotcaster. Getting the 2-for-1's not bad, and I've had a lot of success with him, so that's what we're going to take here. Like I was saying, Kindling Skarn, though, it's not bad. It's really easy to pair that with Crushing Blow and sneak by with a ton of damage. Alright, so what do we have here in the second pack? Well, the common is missing, so probably like a piece of removal. Maybe like a Thunderbird. That might have been the card in there. But yeah, probably a piece of removal. In here, we kind of want to stick with the blood option. Atrophy isn't bad. Air Superiority is actually really good, and I kind of want to pick it, but the air stuff with Blood Sapphire doesn't work quite as well. Really, if you're going Air Superiority, you want to go Sapphire Diamond, and we're already kind of wanting to keep our Rotcaster here, so we'll probably go with the Atrophy, which you can usually squeeze by with. Other than that, FG and Nulzan, also not bad. You can make that guy work pretty well for you regardless what colors you're in. But yeah, we're taking the Atrophy. Alright, so now we got Incantation of Ascendance, which is okay. We've got, well, when I say okay, it takes a while for it to go active, so it's really not that thrilling. We have Heavy Welding Bot if we're going the artifact plan, which we're not doing because we're already kind of in blood, and blood doesn't really work all that well with artifacts. It can work, but it's not really what we want to be doing. The big choices here are Time Ripple, which is a decent sign that Sapphire might be open if we're getting Time Ripple here. Sapper's Charge, which is quite good, especially if we were going the artifact route. We also have Burn, so it's, do we want to go Ruby Sapphire, or not, sorry, Blood Sapphire or Blood Ruby? And I'm probably going to go with the Time Ripple because it kind of pairs well with a lot of the good blood cards. So that's what we're going with, and we'll see if that worked out. It looks like it did. Well, the first card I saw here was the Buccaneer, but there's also Inner Conflict, which we could take, or we could take Corrupt Harvester, and we're going to take the Harvester because he works really well. It's a shame that he was in the same pack as that Buccaneer, because the Buccaneer would have been great with us. Also, Devoted Emissary isn't bad with A lot of the good blood cards works well with Buccaneer, works well with Giant Corpsefly, works well obviously with Rotcaster, but we're going to take the Corpse Harvester here, keep taking the good blood stuff, and maybe we'll see some good blood stuff come back to us on the following pack. So, Shinhair Eulogist would be decent if we were going the Blood Wild plan. Kind of works. Is this Conky Bunny? Yeah, Conky Bunny's not terrible either. You can kind of get a lot of chump blockers out. But since we are on the Blood Sapphire plan, we were already talking about Devoted Emissary, which I've had some decent success with. The other card here is Phoenix Guard Scout. But I've actually kind of found that Scout doesn't really get there the way you want it to. And sometimes you can actually get some nice tricks going with the Emissary. Alright, so first one I see here is the Stone Skin. Sorrow is actually pretty good against the Artifact deck, but I think it's going to be easier for us to pick up a Sorrow later on. You can usually grab them. And Oracle Song you don't see all that often. I'm starting to think that like blue is wide open from the person passing it to me, because we've gotten some good cards from there. I can't remember what I took, what I passed on as far as Sapphire goes when I grabbed the Atrophy. I don't think there was too much, but maybe I shouldn't have grabbed that Atrophy. Alright, so I'm going to be honest here, I actually haven't really played with Mimic yet. I picked it up a whole bunch of times, but I usually end up not main decking it. It is kind of clunky because it doesn't put the replica into play, it only puts it into your hand. So we could take that, or we could actually hate draft something. And you know, normally hate drafting isn't a great strategy, and the reason is because like you're going to be short on playables and you didn't really help yourself. You'll find out though that with Hex, you're usually up on playables. You usually have more than you need, and hate drafting is a little bit more legitimate. Okay, so this is the last pack where we haven't seen a card. We could grab that Air Superiority and kind of go in on the flyer plan, and maybe grab the other one, because this went all the way around. But we don't have any flyers yet. Fanged Mountain God is, well, it's not spectacular. It is pretty easy to get in with an aggressive start, and we do look like we have a slower deck, but you know, that could still change with the next pack and the next batch of picks. So here it's either Inquisition or Mazet Ranger. We would give the Ranger probably Flight, turn it into an invasive guy, 4/1 for 4, which isn't terrible. But you can usually pick those up pretty easily. Inquisition every once in a while against artifacts. You want a couple copies of Inquisition from the sideboard, so we'll grab that. But we're probably not going to play it. We might not play that Mimic either. Like I was saying, it's a little clunky. Normally effects like that are really powerful, but since it only puts in your hand and not into play, a lot of the time it doesn't do what you need it to. It becomes really expensive. Alright, so I kind of want to just grab the Air Superiority in case something nuts happens. Maybe I should have grabbed that rather than the Fang. So maybe that was a mistake on my end. And yeah, we could be grabbing like, what is it, Thunderbird still. Maybe there just weren't any opened in this pack and nobody really went Sapphire. Anyways, a lot of stuff could still change. As far as champions go, which is definitely something to play around. This guy, I've had him work once well against me, but he's just really clunky. I don't particularly like him. So it's either the Stoneclaw Gargoyle or the Atrophy. I'll probably play one copy of Gargoyle. And here's another Emissary, which we can probably get away with. We're trying to get maybe some more guys with come into play effects, some Buccaneers or Giant Corpseflies, and we'll be in good shape. But yeah, I mean, the Atrophy, I'm more likely to play a second copy of Atrophy than the Gargoyle. So maybe that was a mispick, but I think it's usually pretty easy to grab Atrophies. People don't tend to value them very highly. The Bloodbearer, I don't know, it gets you a couple of life, but in general, I haven't had much success with that either. Here's our Sorrow, so we'll grab that. It's good to have a couple of copies. Usually don't main deck them, sometimes I do. Sometimes I'll do like the all removal plan with blood. Oh, that's what I was talking about as far as champions go. I'm probably going to run Zarad Venom Scorn. He's usually the blood one that I run. I could run the Feather Drifting Downriver to give my guys flight. which actually, if this air superiority goes around again, I might end up grabbing. Although somebody already grabbed one copy of it. But what we want here is the Buccaneer. Ruby Pyromancer is good, Oracle Song. So we might get either the Oracle Song or the air superiority back around. But Buccaneer is what we're going with. Although, like I was saying, you know, if we were going to play air superiority, we'd want to have like, what, 4 or 5 flyers by now and pick up another 2. But so we're probably not going to be playing that. Yeah. It gets really good though. I mean, I haven't really drafted with it too much, but I played it a lot in sealed, and it's not very hard for it to be completely backbreaking to your opponent. But yeah, what we're probably going to do is try to grab a little bit more removal. Every once in a while I go 3 colors and just grab splash like 2 pieces of removal out of the 3rd color. Probably not what we're going to be doing here though. So far I would say this isn't the most bonkers deck that I've built, but it's not bad. Here's Legionnaire Gawain, which it sucks to be passing on. He's quite good. We could just hate him. I don't know if I want to do that though. The Spearcliff Pegasus is the one that you kind of want with the air superiority. It works pretty well for you, in addition to the other flyers. Ruby Enchantress is pretty decent too. We could pick up Counter Magic, or we could pick up Effigy. Effigy, if we were going to play it, would be probably giving it flight. We could also pick up Wailing Banshee if we wanted to go aggressive. Right now I would say we're probably not playing that Fang of the Mountain God. We're probably going a little bit slower. And so we'll grab that Counter Magic. Alright, Phoenix Guard Trainer. Servant. Servant's actually can be pretty decent. It's not hard to make it work. And we might be stretched for playables, so that might be it. We don't have a whole lot of great guys. Phoenix Guard Trainer. Well, you know what? I'm going to grab the Servant. It's really easy to get in with a pretty significant amount of damage with it. I've played it once so far, and it's fun. You know, it's always fun to have some deck building restrictions. Phoenix Guard Trainer's pretty good too, but hopefully we'll pick up another copy. It would play pretty well with the air superiorities that I've been talking about. Alright, so there's our Phoenix Guard Trainer. We could grab the Wailing Banshee, but we're going to grab the Trainer. It doesn't take much for that to become very, very powerful. It is kind of funny that they changed it from uncommon to common, but I mean, as an uncommon, I don't know, the power level kind of felt like he should be uncommon, but then I say that about power level, and there's a lot of games where he just never actually buffs anything, because usually opponents remove him as soon as he comes down. Alright, what do we got? We got a bunch of good artifact cards. We've got Atrophy, we've got Effigy. I kind of want to grab the Effigy and just give it flight. Let's see. I don't have... So I probably want to grab another Phoenix Guard Trainer at this point. I would also grab Cavern Commando as a defensive guy. Atrophy? No. We'll grab the Effigy. I can probably pick up my second Atrophy later. Ah, there we go! Wow, how did that make this all the way around? What? How many cards? 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 10 cards available, so there's 5 that have been picked. Yeah, that Rockcaster made it pretty far along. Well, that's what we're going to take. We are definitely going the slightly slower deck, but Rockcaster, pretty good. Like, the other day I played, I think I won with a deck that had 3 Rotcasters, 2 Murders, and an Atrophy or something, and managed to do pretty well with that. Although that was Diamond Blood, and Blood's got, or not Blood, Diamond's got some pretty good removal in it. So let's see. Alright, well there's Cloud Titan. That's pretty good for us. So we got, that'll help us with our kind of win conditions, which we don't have a whole lot of right now. That's definitely something you need to be asking yourself as you're drafting, is how do you actually plan to win? And so far we didn't really have too much of that. Kind of want to grab the Monkey. it, it it's pretty good to. It's pretty easy to make the monkey work for you. I like him though in the artifact decks because you can turn one of your worker bots into a 3/4 and then swing with it, kind of catch your opponent off. We do have our curve is kind of high though, which makes me want to take the Wailing Banshee, but we're going to take the monkey because Banshees we've been seeing a lot. Alright, so in this case, we've got 4 flyers plus a servant. Well, I guess by taking the superiority, we're not missing out on much. We could hate the Wind Whisperer or the Wild Growth, but there's a chance that we pick up a bunch more flyers and kind of live the dream. Alright, so the Legionnaire made it all the way around. I'm just going to grab it so that nobody grabs it already. I mean, granted, if it made it this far around, somebody would have grabbed it if they were playing Ruby Diamond. I'm amazed that somebody didn't because it's really good. It's easy to blow your opponent out with it. But, you know. Alright, so we'll grab Inquisition. So we are kind of playing a slower deck here. Take the Ranger and give it flight. And it's a 4 cost at least because we need like a couple of like 3 and 4 cost cards. I should probably count my playables. I'll take the Researcher Adept, which if that, well, there were a couple of other good artifact cards in that pack, so they might have somebody might have taken one of those. But Researcher Adept, it's pretty easy to get 1 or 2 cards off him over the course of the game. Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of the different guy, not Researcher Adept. I'm thinking of the Librarian. Yeah, sorry there guys, getting mixed up. Alright, so what do we got? Another one of these incantations. Like I said, you know, the incantation, sure, it's good. It's really big the turn it comes out. The problem is it takes quite a while to get there. Mistborn Wendigo is pretty good. You just give it flight, and eventually it turns into a really big flyer. We take Acolyte, no. We take Headless Executioner, which is almost like a Wendigo if we end up giving it flight with a trainer. There's another counter magic. There's Throat Cutter. Throat Cutter's pretty good if we were in different colors, or if we had more orcs, which we don't, so we're gonna go with the Wendigo. Might not even end up playing it, but we really wanted to open a murder there though. I need playing blood without at least 1 murder is always a little awkward. Sure, we have the Buccaneer and the Time Ripple. With the Buccaneer and the Time Ripple, I do kind of wish I had that, the guy that creates the spider spawn. He's pretty good. You can definitely apply a little pressure that way. Okay, so Slaughter Gear is in there. Shame Gladiator might be the pick. Yeah, it's too bad we're not in the Sapphire Diamond plan. Slaughter Gear's nasty. And we don't have anything that really deals with them besides Time Ripple. I mean Buccaneer too, but yeah. But you know, we're just gonna grab the Gladiator probably. We can either give him flight if we really want to play off that air superiority, or we can just give him rage and he'll trade with something. Shadow of Witch isn't entirely bad. It's a good defensive creature, and we are kind of playing defensively right now. But I need a couple of early plays, so there we go. That's what we were looking for. Giant Corpse Fly all day long. Flock of Seagulls is kind of nice here. It's probably the next card I would pick, especially if we're going defensive, but you can't pass on the Corpse Fly. Sword Trainer in there too. And we don't have a whole lot of ways of dealing with Sword Trainers. Actually, we don't really have any ways of dealing with Sword Trainers. But that's what we're going to have to... Sapphire Aura wouldn't be bad if we go that plan. I almost want to hate out the Aeronaut, because that guy can be pretty good. if we went with Sapphire Aura, what are we putting it on? I guess either putting it on an Emissary or on the Shamed Gladiator if we give it Rage. Or the Corrupt Harvester. I mean, he's already got Evasion, but with Air Superiority if we went that way. At that point, though, we're not playing Zared, we're playing the Flight guy. I don't know. Could just go with Shard of Fate. But we'll take this. Could have hated the Briar Legion too, but I'm not too concerned. Oh, there's Cloud Titan again. We will take him. So I'm kind of leaning towards going with the Flight. Although you really want Air Superiority in a deck where you have a bunch of like 2 and 3 cost flyers, because then you can play like your 2-drop and then follow it up with a superiority kind of thing. Yeah, I'm not really thrilled about how this draft went, but that's what you get. Alright, Mistborn Wendigo again, Shamed Gladiator, but we're just gonna hate out the Volcanon. I mean, we got 10 cards available, so there's been 5 picked from here. If somebody was playing Artifacts, they would have grabbed this, but in case the person that we're passing to is playing Artifacts, we're just going to take that. I mean, you know, there were cards that worked for us in there, but we have enough playables to make a deck that we don't want to lose to it. We could have been playing, I mean, the first couple picks, I could go back and look. Maybe I overlooked something, but there wasn't anything that was like, I need to play Artifacts now. And it was Workabot Factory too, right? Of course. And Mortar Strike's actually pretty good. We'll take that Willing Banshee. We passed him earlier, but could be good for us now. Because we need another like 3-cost guy or 2. Kind of need a defensive guy. I wouldn't mind picking up a Cavern Commando right here. But let's see. So what was I talking about? Yeah, I mean, there's actually normally I say hate drafting is a really bad strategy. We'll take the Commando, like I was saying, but like I was saying, you know, with this you get plenty of playables. A lot of the time I actually end up with something like 30 or 33 playables, which kind of makes me I guess what I would say is it does kind of feel like they could have made a few more bad cards in there, so that you were kind of stretched a little bit more thin, and I guess it would have felt a little bit more skill intensive to me. Alright, so what do we not want to play against here? Probably don't want to play against the Heavy Welding Bot. I'm trying to remember what I picked over that Sapper's Charge way back when. I think I picked the Buccaneer over it, so that seems decent, but Sapper's Charge would be pretty good for me right now. This guy's... Now I'm starting to think back of like how many of these have I passed on, because this is actually the card that we want. We give that Flight and then we're in really good shape. You turn it into where is it? It's actually like a better version of that bird, because the bird is double diamond, so pick that up. Alright, so how likely am I to play another Devoted Emissary? It does work well with my 2 Rotcasters, my Buccaneer, and my Corpse Fly. I might play it. It also works well with the Phoenix Guard Trainer, because you can give a guy Flight that might not have gotten it after you draw the Phoenix Guard Trainer a little bit later in the game. Shrimshaw might not be bad if I was going defensive, or if I need to board it in against a really aggressive deck. We'll see how this goes. Do I have a Misfortune? Well, I'm not going to play 2 Wendigos, so we'll grab the Misfortune at least. And there's a last pick, Headless Executioner, which